Bauer Bujani, he said, and Times New Roman and Garamond. He pointed to a blunt-edged font and asked me what that was called. Not serifs. There's a word in Latin that means without, he said. He paused. Was I supposed to know Latin? It's sans, he said. So they're called sans, I said. Sans serif. Like these, he said, pointing another S, but S letters without serifs looked naked now. My mother liked letters plain and fine. She liked them thin, he liked them thick. In my adult life, I would work at a science lab, a bank, a study abroad office, a restaurant, a cosmetics company, and a design company. There are codes and marks for each, different languages to describe beauty and importance. I could not be a full member of every group. I would have to pick. So, have you kissed anybody yet? He asked me on the skate home. He meant French. No, yeah. When did you have your first kiss? I was around your age, he said. Who'd you kiss? Her name was Deirdre Lupitani, like loopy spaghetti confetti. It was too perfect. She had brown hair down to here, he said, motioning to his butt. We kissed in the basement at her parents' house. Actually, she was the one who kissed me. I wished for his story, not mine, and for his confidence. A story with a name like that, I was already behind. If he'd kissed by my age, I should have kissed too. My cousin Sarah came to visit. She was my mother's older sister Kathy's daughter, and our only relative around my age. Soon after I was born, we'd live with her and her parents for a few months in Idlewild, California. Now Sarah was tall but stooped. She spoke sharply and sometimes too loud and piercingly for indoor spaces. She was the only child I knew who could be wry as if she was already life-weary. There was something else about her, maybe wit or irony, that she possessed despite her too bold voice and jolting movements and her seeming unawareness of her surroundings. A mature perception that meant she was both a child and at the same time watching from a distance. I'd been looking forward to the visit for months. She'd never met my father, and tonight we would all have dinner together at Bravo Fono in Stanford's shopping center. When we played together as children, neither of us had a father around. Now I did, and I wanted her to see what it was like. He'd picked the place. He was late. He was always late. When he walked in, I could sense he was not happy. It hadn't been a good day at work, maybe. His angels were wrong. He didn't want to be here. His mood was like black soot in the air. My mother ordered the bib lettuce salad. I ordered the linguine with shrimp. We were careful about what we ordered around him. He disapproved of meat. His dietary code didn't have to do with animal welfare, but with aesthetics and bodily purity. Later, when he looked at people with his particular disdain, I could see what made them foolish in his eyes. Their complete unconsciousness of how ignorant they were, picking at their dead food. There was a thin line between civility and cruelty in him, between what did and did not set him off. I knew he wouldn't like the idea of the shrimp. I also knew it would pass, but we'd forgotten to warn Sarah. I'll have the hamburger, she said, too loud. I wanted to muffle her to protect her, and to protect myself. The trick I learned later was to give him less surface area tonight so he would stab someone else. Always someone, if not me. The food arrived. I hoped Sarah wouldn't feel the tense static in the air or notice that my father hadn't said a word to her yet and glanced at her dish with disgust. She talked too loud for the echoing, semi-empty restaurant with its wall of windows, glass bricks, and stone floor. I didn't know how to tell her to talk more softly. After we'd taken a few bites, my father's face shifted and tightened. "What's wrong with you?" he asked Sarah. "What?" she said. She was chewing on a bite of meat. "No," he said, really. At first it seemed that he was asking her to answer him. What was wrong with her? Why did she miss social cues? Why did she have such a biting high voice at the top of the register, always calling for attention, as cute as a baby crying? His voice became high-pitched and piercing. "You can't even talk," he said. "You can't even eat. You're eating shit." She looked at him. I could tell she was trying not to cry. "Have you ever thought about how awful your voice is?" he continued. "Please stop talking in that awful voice." I couldn't believe it was happening, even as it was happening. "Steve, stop it right now," my mother said. I could see him through Sarah's eyes. Or I thought I could. If having a father around was like this, it wasn't so great. "I wish I wasn't here for you," he said. "I don't want to spend another moment of my life with you. Get yourself together. Pull yourself together." He talked loud enough so the people at other tables could hear him. Sarah slouched in her chair and looked at the table and began to cry. "Steve," my mother said, "stop. You should really consider what's wrong with yourself and try to fix it," he said. He got up and walked towards the bathroom. We leaned in and flanked Sarah so that no one else could watch. I was aware of the tables beside us and what they could hear, and what they thought, and how people sat beside violence and were not really a part of it. Sarah was sobbing hissily, with snot and tears wiping her nose on the back of her sleeve, and telling us she was fine. I was smaller than she was, shorter, slighter, but she was small too. "He's a mean person," I said in the parking lot on the way to the car. "It has nothing to do with you." My mother had told me that last part before he'd hurt me. "I know," she said. I couldn't tell if she did know, or she was just saying it, so I would stop comforting her. But she looked at me and said it again. "I know." My father's girlfriend Tina's hair was long and light blonde, the color of the hottest part of the flame. The same hair, the same person, I realized later, who was in his bed the night I thought the blonde man had kidnapped and killed him. I don't remember when I met Tina, but maybe it was one day in the kitchen at my father's woodside house, where my mother and I had come for lunch. The people my father hired to make the beds and make his salads had made fresh whole wheat pasta, the machine still attached to the side of the kitchen counter, the pasta ribbons floured and long on a tray. My father and a few others were playing with the toy, rolling it across the kitchen island, a small silver-painted plastic robot figure with a red helmet that rolled with one